very
I want to
good.
stay right about there. So
Okay.
it's not too far.
Great. So, a lot of people who did these poems picked their poem really right away, and you and I were searching and searching for the right one. And I think, why did we land on this one?
You know, initially, what I was looking for was something with a little more dramatic flair, because I never get to do that stuff, and I thought that would be fun. And I posed some to you that were fantastic poems. They were so good, they were already taken. And then you shot me back this one, and what I loved about this is the ability to play. There were so many characters in the piece, from my old theater days, you know, doing multiple characters in one night seems to be something I do. So I said, oh, I haven't done that in a long time. Let's do that again. And it's just such a well-written piece and so clever and so smart.
It sort of brings up a question that we've been coming through on this album a lot, is that are poems meant to be read, or are they meant to be read aloud?
Well, to me, poetries are heightened language. Heightened language is songs. So poems, by their very nature, to me, have music, and music is something you listen to. You know, you can read it on the page, and music, if you understand music and you read it on the page, you can look at it and go, oh, that's brilliant. That's going to sound amazing. But it's not until you hear it, on instrumental voices, that you really, the full beauty of it comes through. I think poems are a verbal art. They are a written craft for a verbal art.
And you brought up music and songs. What's the difference between performing a poem as heightened language and a song as heightened language?
The real difference is the author of a song, the composer of a song, really gives you the values very specifically. If he's writing whole notes or half notes or dotted quarter notes, he's telling you, in the same way that a poet may use punctuation to try and convey their meaning, a composer has a much more specific ability to say, no, this is exactly what I intend. Now, you can go off their intention, but then you are interpreting the song in another way. A poet does not have the same ability to give you their absolutely specific intention. So the performer is doing a lot more interpretation, and I'm sure with every poem that you're recording, it's an interesting experiment. I was part of a movie that was similar, not in its poetic quality, but I did a movie called The Aristocrats, where over 100 people basically told the same joke.
Paul Provenza's coming in later.
There you go. I would imagine this would be equally interesting, not only to have all these wonderful performers doing different poems, but to have all these wonderful performers doing the same poem and seeing how many variations you would get, because I think great poems just lay themselves bare to interpretation. Actually, great writing makes themselves bare to interpretation. And so it really becomes magical. And in the same way that I think, you know, with the way Paul Provenza got to The Aristocrats was by a proposition that was made to him that jazz singers are what the song is. That if you had 100 jazz singers singing the same song, it would be a totally different song every time. His proposition is that's true of any great piece of material, that it's about interpretation, and that only really crummy pieces of material do not afford the ability for different people to interpret it.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right,
one last thing.
Yes.
Look at the camera and
Yes.
say the word poetry.
Poetry.